Empaths tend to feel anxious without knowing why. Okay, so the next sign I'm going to talk about in this video is that you may be experiencing anxiety for no apparent reason and you can't seem to resolve or overcome it. Yes, anxiety is the hardest thing to empathize with. It is usually associated with vague fears and anxieties and a feeling that something is wrong. But you don't know what. Anxiety has many causes. It usually has to do with a lack of faith that things will work out, a lack of faith in what you are doing, and a lack of faith in your destiny. People with clinical depression usually suffer from a lot of anxiety, and no matter how hard they try, they just can't get over it. Now, there is a problem. You have an empath who carries such deep anguish, and it's likely another empath will pick up on those feelings. Because they are vague and lack real definition, the other empath has a premonition or judgment that he cannot fully define or understand. If they understand that it is not coming from them, it will deal with it a lot. However, some empaths are natural caregivers, and when they are not focused on themselves, they are always worrying about someone else. I know, it drives me crazy when people worry about me. I really don't enjoy that kind of attention. They don't seem to trust me enough to know that things will work out as they are meant to. Well, anxiety is fear. You tend to fear that something unpleasant will happen to someone you care about. It is also not very productive. Empaths often care about others. Some might say it's their nature, but they can drive their target crazy with their constant worrying. An empath who is attuned to another naturally tends to wake up to the level of stress and anxiety that arise. I find that when I'm having a bad day, people spam me asking what's wrong and what makes things wrong. Then I have to comfort them and take the focus of healing and revitalizing myself. It is definitely one of the best things you can do for someone. As a general rule, don't try to correct someone who hasn't asked for correction. They may not be broken in the first place. Most of the time, they know what they need to do. And the last thing they should be doing is entering into a discussion on what another feels they should be doing. If someone needs help, they will generally send out a soul call, which is a call for help on a soul level, and it will be answered. The empath doesn't really know or understand all this, so all they feel is that something is terribly wrong, and they can't explain the feelings they have. In my experience, it can also lead to a vicious cycle when two empaths bully each other. When one has a bad day and the other accepts it and takes it as his feelings, then another empath picks up on those feelings and embraces them, etc. This is definitely one scenario. However, what is common is that when one empath is stressed out something, the other fears that it has to do with something they have done. Then they feel guilt, fear, and anxiety, thinking about all the horrible things they could have done but never did. The other empath then picks up on such things, and because they cannot focus on themselves, they are very upset that they have to focus on healing the other before focusing on themselves. Like you said, it's a vicious cycle. It's the guilty part that actually does the most damage. It's amazing how many people automatically assume that if someone is having a bad day, it's because they made it. I'm not ready to discuss things yet, but don't worry, it has nothing to do with you. I just need your understanding and support, and I will be fine. Yes, it can definitely help Although it's not always easy for someone to tell, especially if it happens all the time. And by that, I mean it happens every other day. Some really feel like a broken record. But that's just life. Things happen sometimes every day. You don't have to apologize for it. Over time, you will apply survival techniques and know what you need to do to return to your center. Well, another problem is that we are also afraid of offending someone. Many people get hurt easily and can also make your problem their own. Suddenly, it's not about you anymore, and you have to put your problems on hold while you deal with these dramas. So you better not tell anyone and hope they don't notice. People can only choose to be hurt. If you wanted to not offend, that's their problem, not yours. Someone once told me that you cannot hurt. Just accept it. True, and some people like to get hurt when they want to create drama to fail or focus on themselves. Such things are called control dramas. Briefly explain it of the Celestine prophecy, and people use one form or another when they feel they need the energy. It is like those astral beings that feed on energy, and like the energy they feed on, it is not healthy or productive and doesn't nourish or bring joy or peace. It's like fast food. It tastes good when you eat it, but you don't feel very good afterwards. It's a good idea to surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. Also, some people are harder to avoid than others. Family can be the hardest, and people often have to choose where they have to choose to cut them out of their lives or accept their shit. Families, especially parents, are expert at the guilt card. Again, communicating your feelings when you can help, but it's more important to know your boundaries, set them and stick to them.